Oklahoma's recommended long-distance visitation schedule. I'm Tulsa Attorney James Worth, doing a series of videos related to the advisory guidelines in the state of Oklahoma for visitation. It goes back to 2004. The Oklahoma legislature passed a new law that says that the administrative director of courts needs to come up with recommended visitation guidelines and to promulgate around the attorneys and the judges and the courts to try to have recommendations for the best interest of children based on the current science, as well as try to have some uniformity from court to court and judge to judge. Now, this covers different ages of the children, and now this schedule that we're talking about in this video has to do with long distance. So if the parents are living far away, so as that you cannot have regular weekend visitation and contact, you can't have regular exchanges, then what do you do under those circumstances? Well, they have two schedules, and the difference between the schedules is that one schedule does not have regular monthly contact every month, and the other one does allow for contact every month. So without the ability to have that regular contact, what are you looking at? Well, you're looking at spring break, and you're maximizing your spring break, your fall break, your Thanksgiving, your Christmas, those big holidays that are longer periods of time. More of it goes to the non-custodial parent because they can't be alternating weekends and can't be alternating the other holidays. Also more summertime. So what it recommends is that for children under 5, you're looking at 2 weeks in June, 2 weeks in July. For older than 5 up to 17, you're looking at 30 days. The goal is to have 30 days visitation for the first part of the summer and 30 days visitation for the second part of the summer, which means substantially the great majority of the summer would be going to the non-custodial parent. Now, it also notes that there's going to be transportation costs if the parties are living far apart. And how do we handle those? The recommendation here is that the parties share equally the cost of providing the necessary transportation. Now, for this plan that allows the additional time, it notes that the non-custodial parent shall be entitled to visitation in the city of the residence of the custodial parent for periods not to exceed 5 consecutive days upon the following terms. And then it goes on and limits that a bit. You got to provide enough notice up front. So that is for the one that does not have the, without the ability to have the monthly contact. Then for the one that does have the monthly contact, it's a little bit expanded. So we're still talking about spring break, fall break, Thanksgiving, Christmas. We're talking about in both plans also liberal telephone visitation and telephone contact. But it's also got the extra visitation here in this one. So the non-custodial parent shall have visitation with the children at all reasonable times and places. Anytime he or she is in the state of Oklahoma or in the locale where the non-custodial parent resides, or where the children or where the non-custodial parent resides. Either parent will provide reasonable advance notice to the other parent of when the children will be at the locale where the non-custodial parent resides, or the non-custodial parent will be in Oklahoma. So the only difference between those two plans is that you've got the ability to have monthly contact under this second plan. So if you're going through a court case in family law for custody or visitation, you're probably going to want to be familiar with what the options are regarding visitation schedules. The advisory guidelines do go over that, so it's a good thing to look at. As I noted in some of the previous videos, what's odd about the visitation or the advisory guidelines is they don't have any 50-50 plans. There's a lot of every other weekend plans, add in a day during the week, frequent contact back and forth for the younger kids. But it is more common in practice than in these guidelines, and maybe it's because these guidelines came out in 2005, but it's more common now perhaps to have every other week or week on, week off, and a 50-50 schedule like a 2-2-3 schedule that are not included in there. So it's good to review these. They are not the law. They are guidelines. They're recommendations of persuasive authority, but not absolute authority. You're also going to want to talk to an attorney about what's best for your circumstances, because your work schedule is going to be different than the person's in the next case. Your child's going to be different. The other party's going to be different. The dynamic's going to be different. So visitation schedules very much have to be tailored to the specifics of your case. So you're going to want to talk to an attorney about private, confidential circumstances to get legal advice. To get that scheduled with an attorney at my office, you can go online to makelaweasy.com.